Hello everyone, this is Ruth again, and I had put out a play about taming your tongue, which is what we're talking about today. Today I'm not going to be reading actually from the Bible. I will just read what I've been reading out of From Faith to Faith, A Daily Guide to Victory by Kenneth and Gloria Copeland, which today is June 24th, and it's called, the title for today is Don't Tell It Like It Is. Now I'm going to read from this book, and then there's some things in the Bible that I will point out and that I think is all of it's important, but to get kind of an idea of what we're talking about. So, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. Words are serious business, and as believers, we need to get serious about learning how to use them. We need to We need to begin to put them to work for us like God Himself does. The Bible tells us that He uses words to call those things which be not as though they were. You can also take a look at Romans chapter 4, verse 17. Most of us don't have the faintest idea how to do that. We've spent our lives telling it like it is. We've constantly used our mouth to report on the sorry state of affairs around us. The very thought of calling things which be not as though they were, seems a little crazy. You mean I'm supposed to say I'm healed when I'm feeling sick? I'm supposed to say I'm prosperous when I'm penniless? We say that sounds like lying to me. No. There's a vast difference between lying and speaking by faith. A lie is meant to deceive someone. It's designed to make someone believe something that's not true. But to speak by faith is simply to speak words that agree with the words of God instead of the circumstances around you. It's speaking from your spirit instead of from your mind. As the Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 13, we have the same spirit of faith as he had who wrote, I have believed, and therefore I have spoken. We too believe, and therefore we speak. And that's in the Amplified. Now, that's important. Read that verse again. I have believed, and therefore have I spoken. There are some folks who speak the word, but they don't have the faith to back it up. As a result, they fall flat on their spiritual faces. They don't actually call things that be not as though they were. They call things that be not the way they wish they were. Those are two very different things. The word may be the same, but just wishing and hoping won't get the job done. You've got to believe. Begin today bringing both your tongue and your heart in line with the word. Stop telling it like it is, and start speaking and believing the promises of God, but the power of the words to work for you. And the reading scriptures is Proverbs chapter 15. Now, Now, the play was a little bit different. It kind of corresponds to some of the verses that are in chapter 15. And as always, I do read out of the Everyday Life Bible. It's the Amplified Bible from Joyce Myers. And some of the pointers that I would like to point out to you on this is so every verse that I'm going to be speaking from is always going to be from chapter 15. So we're going to go from 1 and 2. A soft and gentle, thoughtful answer turns away wrath, but harsh and painful and careless words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise speaks knowledge that is pleasing and acceptable, but the babbling mouth of fools spouts folly. I mean, if we're getting angry, we usually say things that we don't mean, things that's going to make somebody feel bad. And we want to stay away from that. I don't know if people has road rage. If you get angry and you start yelling or flipping people off or whatever, we want to go kind of in a different direction with that. We don't want, you can be angry, and it's fine to be angry. Or if we end up going into a place, a store or something, and we have people that are the workers at that place is rude. I mean, they're just outrightly rude. So, I think instead of sitting there complaining or sitting there getting mad and saying names and pointing out different flaws, we want to kind of uplift them, so this way they know that okay, well, I don't appreciate it, but I think that you could have been a lot more politer or something that's not going to be yelling or throwing any kind of anger out there. So, and I'm also going to continue in verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, watching the evil and the good. He watches. He knows what we're doing at all times. He knows what's in our heart. He knows everything about us. Then I guess I got it all the way to 4. Okay. 4, soothing tongue, speaking words that build up and encourage is a tree of life. But a perverse tongue, speaking words that overwhelm and depress, crushes the spirit. So anytime that we're making somebody feel bad about themselves or just making them sad, making them, we want to encourage these people. We want to just be loving, to help them become a better person. And in Life Point, one of the at the end of her commentary, it says, we are not to use our mouths to hurt, break down, and depress, but rather to heal, restore, and uplift. The tongue has healing power, and we need to use it to bring healing. And healing, we want to heal people. We want to, some people may have a different agenda, but, this is where we need to really think about, put yourself in their situation. What if maybe we took it wrong? Maybe, maybe they're having a bad day. We don't know what's going on in their lives. So we need to try to at least be understanding on that. So on verse 9, the way of life of the wicked is hateful and exceedingly offensive to the Lord. So I'm going to read this Life Point. Those who are wise use their lips to spread knowledge. See Proverbs chapter 15:7. But those who are foolish in heart speaks whatever comes to mind. I believe one of the biggest problems with people is that they do not use wisdom when they think of this, do foolish things. Ask God to help you identify and correct any foolishness in your life. and to enable you to use wisdom in everything you do. Wisdom, if we have that kind of heart, we're going to be able to have that wisdom. We're going to be able to be slow to anger kind of thing. And then we're going to jump to 18, verse 18. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger and patient calms dispute. So it has a calmer and it has a quicker resolution, and problem will be solved a lot faster. If we just listen and we kind of like, okay, what is it? How can we respond? What is the best way to respond? So let's go ahead and jump to verse 28. The heart of the righteous thinks carefully about how to answer in a wise and appropriate and timely manner. But the babbling mouth of the wicked pours out malevolent things. So we want to, stay clear of that. You need to really practice on being in a more righteous thinking, and being careful what we say with our mouth, because our mouth is, it's a everybody heard of this, it's a double-edged sword. It can hurt people and it can comfort people, uplift people, not depress them. Verse 33, that's chapter 15. The reverent fear of the Lord, that is worshiping him and regarding him as truly awesome, is the instruction for wisdom. It starting point and its descents, and before honor comes humility. Now, the more we kind of soak ourselves a little bit more with the Lord, we're going to end up having more and more and caring and understanding with these people. People that are hard to live with and hard to deal with. Now I'm going to share this. Now that with my relationship with my husband, it's taking a while, but it's a work in progress. And believe it or not, he also does the same thing. But I also do the same thing. So if I would put myself into place, and the more I'm into being wisdom and soaking more into the Lord, that I can help him along with this. He will see that. So that's how that usually works. So, and also going to what is the healing, and asking, and if you truly believe that you can overcome something, whether it's pain, whether it's depression, whether it's anything, that as long as you believe and you ask the Lord, it will happen. Now I had lower back surgery. I had a posterior and anterior, front and back, at L5 and S1. And I have a rod and screw there, plus a cage. Now, for some reason I know the reason, because I'm stubborn and I'm impatient as well sometimes, that I have lifted things that I wasn't supposed to be lifting, heavy objects, and I hurt my back again. But when I had asked the Lord to heal me, and I believed that he's the only one that can do this. You can't just ask and just hoping. And you got to go further than what you're thinking. You got to go further than that. You believe. You totally believe. It is done. It is done for you, and you be thankful that it's done. You have to believe this, Because you know what? God's done miracles. He's cured people with cancer. He's done all sorts of miraculous things. People that should have died are alive now. So I just want you guys to just kind of meditate more into God's word, listening and worship music and all sorts of things like that, because I think that will help get you a little bit more humble and more in righteousness, so you can be able to practice the being able to help others and having that understanding. But as of for now, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye. God bless.